and happy full moon in Aquarius. So this evening we're going to be doing a full energy tarot read for all the 12 signs. I will timestamp it below so it's easy to find. You can watch for your sun sign or for your moon and rising sign as well. So let's get started, and remember that the full moon in Aquarius is not just about how we're connecting with ourselves but also with the collective, which is really important to keep in mind. But let's see what the cards have in store for us. Okay, so Aries, this is for you. Let's see what we've got. Give a good shuffle. Sometimes cards do want to jump out, so we'll prepare ourselves for that. Woo! Okay, woo, we already got one here. So we've got 8 of Cups. We have got, let's see, what else is coming through? We've got the Knight of Cups, and we've also got, let's see what this one is. Oh, Strength as well. Okay, so with our 3-card spread, 8 of Cups, Knight of Cups, and the Strength card as well. So when we're looking at these cards, what we're really thinking about is that idea that we are in a period perhaps of avoidance, that we have been through something that has been quite difficult, quite challenging, especially on an emotional level, and that we've had to take ourselves away from that particular situation or person or job in order to move forward and progress as a person. Really, we've had to leave that negative situation behind. But what we really want to remember is that we don't want to necessarily stay in that space for too long, because it can be quite tempting to delve too deep into that shadow side of ourselves, and then we end up kind of blocking ourselves from being able to reintegrate back into the life that we truly want to be coming back to. But there is that sense that things are really moving forward now, especially on an emotional level, that we're maybe that period of withdrawing, of going away, has now allowed us to come back better, stronger, more emotionally in touch with ourselves, and more emotionally mature to face whether it's a relationship dynamic, family, or whether it's coming back to a job that we were uncertain of, or a period of indecision where maybe we had to withdraw in order to make that big change. But we've got the Strength card coming up, which is letting us know that we do have that power inside of us to be able to make those difficult choices. I think sometimes when we look at Strength, we think of it as being quite a one-dimensional card, I guess, but it's really about that universal idea, that never-ending factor, that whenever we need to find that inside of us, that strength, that power, that it is always available to us. We don't just have to tap into it once in a while. We always have that capacity to change things inside us for the better. So as we go through these next couple of weeks coming up to the new moon in Virgo, we really want to remember that we might be needing to withdraw, and if we do, that is totally fine. These shadow periods are really necessary for physical health, mental health, but also to help us then make progress going forward, but that we've got that speed that's going to then follow that period of withdrawal, where we're going to be able to reconnect, and it's going to be something that happens quite quickly in order to then come to the decision that we need to, and that we are feeling strong about it, that we know where we want to go next, and that we really are accessing the power that we need, that inner strength, in order to be able to make the best decision, not necessarily listening to other people, but digging into that intuition that we all know, in order to honour what it is that our journey is trying to tell us. Okay, so that is the energy that we're feeling in Aries for the next couple of weeks. So let's move on now. Okay, hello Taurus. So let's see what these next couple of weeks have in store, coming up from the full moon in Aquarius, moving forward to then the new moon in Virgo. So let's see what 3 cards want to pop out for us now. Okay, so we've got, let's have a look. Queen of Swords reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, and then let's have another quick shuffle. Ooh, popping out. Ooh, 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so there we have our cards for Taurus. Queen of Swords reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, and then the Eight of Pentacles. So what you may be feeling at the moment is a sense of personal stagnation, so that there is a project or a situation where you just feel that things are not really moving forward or progressing in the way that you would like. That you are still putting in that hard work, but it just feels at the moment that things are not really moving forward in the way that you would like them to. And that can be in a personal relationship, it could be in a career situation, it could be in multiple different aspects of your life situation at the moment. And what we're really finding is that it's the communication side that is really holding things up. So there's a level maybe where we have an element of immaturity perhaps in ourselves as well. So there is a blockage definitely coming through from the other side of the situation, but that perhaps we're not helping it either, that we're not necessarily digging into a more emotionally mature side of ourselves in order to then push that progress on. But even though we're coming to a moment here where we're feeling that blockage of time, that there is that delay, that setback, it doesn't mean that it is forever. It just means that it's just this moment in time where perhaps a communication has stalled. So it could be with a deal at work, or perhaps a promotion at work, or it could even be just in a relationship situation where maybe there's been a hiatus of communication and we're not sure whether we maybe want to progress in that relationship, if that person is not honouring our boundaries, if they're kind of treating us more as an option rather than a priority. But that's something to keep in mind. However, we are putting in the hard work, and we will see the result of that hard work and that labour coming through later on. But it's just not quite there yet. So we just need to keep pushing and know that we are doing the best that we can at the moment, and that there is nothing more that we can do, and that things will start to turn around for us. But we're just feeling that element of being blocked, of that stumbling block. But it won't be forever, and things will start to progress shortly. Okay, so that's my Taurian. So let's move on to our next sign. Okay, hello Gemini. So now it's time for your energy check-in with the full moon in Aquarius, seeing where we're going to be in the next couple of weeks, moving up to the new moon in Virgo. Sometimes this happens where a card will just jump out because it wants us to see what it has in store. So this is, the moon in reverse. And let's see, let's get a couple of other cards going. Woo! Two more coming out. Let's see what we've got. So we have got the Devil reversed, and also the Eight of Cups. Now this card has come up before, so we're obviously feeling that energy of retreat. So we've got Moon in reverse, we've got the Devil in reverse, and we've also got the Eight of Cups. So what this is really trying to say to us is that we have been really working hard on ourselves, which is probably the hardest aspect of life to work on, is to do that internal work for ourselves in order to progress on that base personal level, so that we can then show up not just for ourselves but for other people in the best possible way as well. So we've got that moon in reverse, so we've been putting in the shadow work, we've really identified where we have been the reason that we've been holding ourselves back, and we've also relinquished a lot of the negative habits that maybe have also been creeping in, I guess kind of left over since the pandemic. Sometimes I found this personally, that you can maybe dip into the material side of things to fill a gap, or perhaps indulging in more negative self-sabotaging habits really, in order to kind of fill those moments where maybe life feels like it's stagnating, or where things aren't moving forward in the way that we would like them to. But coming up with the Eight of Cups, we've still got that sense that maybe there's still a bit more work to do, not necessarily in ourselves, but that we may need to take some more time away from certain situations in order to fully decide how we feel about them. And this can be across anything, because this is just an energy read, so it could be work or family or relationships, or even, you know, we've really put in that hard work, but we may still feel that there are aspects or elements in our life where we just want to push it a bit further and we want to take that time. And also on the flip side of that, we could feel that, okay, so we've done this really difficult internal work and actually that doesn't need to go out into the world yet. We want to keep part of that for ourselves. We've worked hard on ourselves and we want to enjoy the fruits of that. I think often we hear this message that we need to work on ourselves to not be the toxic person necessarily in someone else's life. And then once we've done that work, that we need to get back out there and keep showing up as our new self or our better self for other people. But actually sometimes it's okay to just say, actually, I want to withdraw from the world for a little bit and really figure out what my next step in life is. Okay, so those are our cards for Gemini, for full moon in Aquarius, moving into new moon in Virgo. So let's crack on with our next sign. Hello all my Cancerians out there. So let's see what the cards have in store for the next 2 weeks for you with the Aquarius full moon moving through to the new moon in Virgo, because we always have the full moon in the opposite sign to the season that we're in and the new moon in the current season, but I'm sure you all already know that. Wow, okay, so another card is jumping out immediately and this is 5 of Cups. And then, ooh, my deck has gone a bit topsy-turvy in my shuffling. Let's try again. Okay, so then we have also got Queen of Pentacles, and let's go with this one. We have got 5 of Pentacles reversed. So for our Cancerians, we've got 5 of Cups, we have got Queen of Pentacles, and we have got 5 of Pentacles reversed. So when we're looking at these cards, what we're thinking of is that perhaps we have been through something quite challenging. It could be a big challenge or it could also be a minor inconvenience. I think we're all guilty sometimes of getting a bit cross over something that maybe we've blown a bit out of proportion, which is always what I think of when I look at this card. But it can also mean that there has been something really not great that may have happened that you are still trying to process. But it's important to remember that whatever you're going through at the moment, you will come out the other side. I mean, even when we look at this card, we can see that, you know, 3 of the cups have been knocked over, have been spilled, but we've still got 2 full cups here. If we would just turn around and see them, we can see that the bridge over to the castle on the other side, you know, better things are coming, better things are waiting for us. And this card is always great to see because, especially in energy read, because it shows that we have an emotional maturity coming through when we're looking at our finances. And finances can be one of the hardest aspects of our lives to really get a handle on, because a lot of us grow up without a real education in finance. It's not something that we're really taught at school or in education. It's something that we kind of make up, I guess, as we go along, through mistakes, through various challenges teaching us what to do. So we're going through a period where, you know, something challenging has happened, but we know that we're going to be able to come out the other side of it. We've got a maturity towards our finances, so we're not trying to deal with this problem in a destructive way. We're using it to improve, to move forward in a way that is positive. And we also have here the 5 of Pentacles reversed, which again is that sense of coming through something really challenging, really difficult, but being able to flourish through it financially. So perhaps it could be the loss of a job or a relationship, but actually when you have a pure intention, when these things end, you don't lose them, they lose you, because it is helping you and pushing you forward in order to be able to create a level of abundance that is then coming through into this next stage of our life. So when we're thinking about the next 2 weeks, we really want to be keeping a close eye on finances, but not in a restrictive way, in an abundance mindset where we know that we have been through something challenging, but that it is helping us to find financial freedom through it, or it's teaching us a valuable financial lesson that will only serve to benefit us in the future. So those are our cards for Cancer. So let's move on to the next sign. Okay, so now we are moving on to Leo. Obviously we are still in Leo season. Full moon in Aquarius will always be showing up to us in Leo season. So this is, I guess, an extra extra shot of energy and intensity for you guys. I am Leo rising myself, I think you can probably tell with the hair, but anyway, let's see what the cards have in store for us. Oh, got one coming out already. Oh, so we've got 5 of Wands, we have got Page of Swords reversed, and then this one wants to come out as well. Who have we got? Knight of Wands reversed as well. Okay, so for Leo, 5 of Wands, Page of Swords reversed, and Knight of Wands reversed. So when we're looking at this, what we're really thinking about is that there is an element of conflict coming through, and this is most likely going to be in a relationship situation. So it could be in a personal relationship, or it could be a relationship at work. So for example, with colleagues or co-workers, or maybe even a boss, you know, there's some level of conflict or restriction there. And it can also be in families, but what we have to remember is sometimes conflict can take place within ourselves, and we are then projecting that onto other people. Because even if we look at this card, you can see that none of the wands are actually touching. They're all just raised in a confrontational manner, and sometimes a little spark, a little disagreement can then blow up into a really big conflict or argument. So we want to try and avoid that as we're going through these next couple of weeks, from the full moon in Aquarius through to the new moon in Virgo. We really want to be watching where we are bringing conflict into our lives. Obviously sometimes it's unavoidable, but when I see this card coming up, generally there is an element where perhaps there has been some antagonizing behavior that we have maybe not stepped away from, and it's a good idea wherever possible to take a level of responsibility. So if someone is trying to embroil you in an argument, you just step back and say, actually, I don't want to engage with this, I'm not engaging with this, thank you very much. And then with the Page of Swords, we've got an element of maybe where we've been a little bit naive about a situation, or where we've kind of thought that we knew what we wanted with something, but actually we realise that that we don't, and we're just kind of getting into that period now where we're moving away from whatever negativity has been going on. And although it may feel like it's, you know, going slowly and that we're not quite getting past that situation as much as we would like to, there is progress, but it is just perhaps a bit slow going. And when we look at this card, it could also mean that whatever conflict has arisen, it's made us realise that we want to make actually a change, primarily in a career situation. So if you're feeling that coming through, the cards are definitely backing you up on that. And if you want to have a new kind of fresh start, a new creative spark with a career, this card is saying that that is on the horizon, but it is a little bit further away, and you're just going to have to dig deep and wait for that to show up for you. But these are our cards for Cancer, coming through from now until the new moon in Virgo. So let's move on to our next sign. Hello Virgo, so now it's time for your energy reading. This is going to be from the full moon in Aquarius up until the new moon in Virgo. So it's what could be coming forward for you for the next couple of weeks. Got a couple of cards jumping out already. So we've got Temperance, we have got the Ace of Wands, and then let's see what else is coming up through the cards. Okay. We have got, let's go for this one. Ooh, the Fool. Oh, lovely. The Fool does not often come up, so it's always exciting when it does. Okay, so we've got Temperance, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the Fool. So going through the next couple of weeks, what these cards are saying to me strongly is that there is a sense of balance coming through, a sense of a fresh start, and that idea, especially I would say in a career situation, of something new and exciting happening. So it could be that a job that you have been in for a while and maybe a new project is starting, or it could be taking that leap into creating a new business or a side hustle. I don't really like that word. I feel that one career should be enough to pay for everything that we need in life, but you know, it could be a side project or something new that you're trying to get started with. If you're thinking about starting that following this full moon, the cards are definitely encouraging you and backing up that that idea. So when we're looking at this as well, we've got that idea of connection, you know, that we are feeling in a very stable, serene point in our life, which is always a really lovely place to be, but that we're not afraid of taking a leap of faith to start something new, but we're doing it from a position of balance and of that firm, solid ground beneath our feet. So we want to take a new leap of faith. We've had our little creative spark something inside us where we think, right, I really want to try something different, do something new, but we're not doing it in a reckless way. We have assessed all the elements that we need in order to move forward with it, and we are now going to progress from a point of not necessarily maturity, but from taking in all the facts. But whenever the Fool comes up, we also want to be aware that there may be some challenges coming up ahead, but that we have the capacity inside us to be able to face those. But it doesn't mean that everything is always going to be smooth sailing, but obviously nothing ever is in life anyway. But this is a really lovely 3-card spread coming up, giving that real energetic sense that something really exciting is going to happen, that real fresh start that is coming from you, that you have created, which is wonderful. So yeah, so these are our cards for you guys, and then let's move on to our next sign. Moving on now to our Libra energy. Let's see what the cards have in store from the full moon in Aquarius through to the new moon in Virgo. Ooh. Sometimes the cards do tend to jump out on me, which I love, because I think that that is them helping us to really guide our intuition and say, hey, you know, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so we already have 2 cards jumping out. Let's see who we've got. Ooh, so we've got 10 of Swords, we have got Death in the reverse, and then let's go with this one. Ooh, the 2 of Cups in reverse. So when we're looking at this spread, what we are seeing is the culmination. So whenever we see a 10 in tarot, we know that that means that a cycle is coming to an end. And although this card can look quite dramatic, actually there is that sense of overkill. So we are coming into a period now of finalizing something, of having a rest, but we want to not dig too deeply into that sense of you know, passing out into just not knowing what we're doing. You know, we want to recognize that something has come to an end. Maybe it was a really hard project, we really had to grit our teeth and get through to the end of it. Maybe it's the end of a relationship that we have wanted to end for a significant period of time, but we've not been able to for whatever reason, and we have got to that end point finally. Yes, thank goodness it is over, but we don't want to stay in this heavy energy, that's the better word, this heavy energy for too long, because then what it means is that all the positivity of that ending we can then self-sabotage if we're not careful. But we can clearly see from this card, you know, although there is that sense of overkill, that the dawn is breaking behind this figure, and that we know that better things are coming. So if you have ended a difficult situation, first of all, congratulations, but also to know that better things are coming. However, when we have the Death card coming up in reverse, there may be some resistance to this change, and that is totally normal and totally natural. Change, even when it's positive, even when it's something really, you know, new and exciting, it can be really tricky. So we want to allow ourselves the confidence to know that whatever change is coming, it is the right thing for us, and we know that no matter what, life changes all the time. We can't control that, it is always in flux. So what we want to be doing is we want to allow ourselves to move from an ending into a period of transformation, so that we can truly embrace the change. And then when we have the 2 of Cups in reverse, we want to understand that maybe there is an element where we are struggling with a relationship situation. So this could be a personal relationship, family, or work, but it's that sensation of feeling stuck. So something has ended, we're looking to then move through into that change, but we're feeling a bit blocked because maybe we're a bit scared, we're not sure, and there is that sense that there is a communication that is still in hiatus, where we're not sure what's going on with someone. So I would really encourage you in these next 2 weeks to lean into this period of change for yourself, and to not worry about what other people are saying or not saying, whether they're supporting you or not supporting you in the way that you would want them to, and to just know and understand that you have been through difficult times, a difficult period, but that you have the capacity to embrace the change and everything that is coming next for you over these next couple of weeks. So here are your cards, your energy read, and then let's move on to our next sign. Okay, hello to Scorpio. Now it is time for your energy reading for the full moon in Aquarius for these next couple of weeks. Pardon me, moving on then till the new moon in Virgo. Let's have some water. Okay, let's see what the cards have in store for you. So we'll give them a quick shuffle. Let's see if anyone wants to jump out for us. Ooh, got one here coming through. So we have got the King of Cups, we have got the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and then let's see what else we have coming through. Ooh. And then we've also got the Ace of Swords in the reverse as well. So we've got the King of Cups, Ten of Pentacles reversed, and Ace of Swords in the reverse as well. So when we're looking at this, we really want to congratulate ourselves, because we have come through a period where we have reached peak emotional maturity. So this may not mean that we are mature forever, but that we have learned from situations, we have grown from them, and we are now standing in our own power and knowing that we have the emotional maturity and capacity to deal with whatever is coming our way. And although we may have reached a conclusive point, especially in a financial situation, we are still kind of not necessarily allowing ourselves to enjoy those blessings. So when I look at this card, I always think of the Greek myth of Odysseus coming home. So maybe there has been a difficult period, especially in a familial family sense, that we have had to overcome, and that we are now feeling a lot more settled in, a lot happier about, and that we are kind of still unsure though of letting ourselves accept the abundance of that situation. So that could either be emotionally, but it could also be financially. And I think a lot of us do feel a sense of guilt if we have, say, financial help from family, but there are times in our life where that is important and where we need to accept it in order to then flourish and move forward and progress, and it is not a negative thing. But I think it's also important to remember not to overthink situations as well at the moment. So this is an energy that is coming through strongly, that although we have a sense of mastery over our emotions, that we are still overthinking a lot in a situation. And again, because this is just an energy read, it could be coming through in all aspects of our lives. So it could be personally, it could be health-wise, it could be friends or family, it could be at work, career-wise, that kind of sense of worrying and not really sure exactly what we want to do or where we want to go next, and feeling that element of conflict within ourselves. But I want to encourage you to know that this is a really positive period coming through now, that we have so much to be grateful for in our life. And grateful is, I think, quite a loaded word, but it's important to remember that we are allowed to feel happy, we are allowed to feel abundant, and we are allowed to embrace our emotions as well. We're allowed to show our emotions in order to release, to cleanse, especially on a full moon, which is the perfect time to do it as well. Okay, so here are our cards for Scorpio. So now we're going to move on to our next card. Okay, so now it is time for our energy read for Sagittarius for the full moon in Aquarius, moving forward over the next couple of weeks until our new moon in Virgo. So let's see what we have in store for Sagittarius. So let's see what's coming out to us. So we have the Hanged Man in the upright position, and then we also have, what's this one? We have the High Priestess in reverse, and then we also have, let's do another quick shuffle. Ooh. The cards are always jumping at me. Let's have a look. Let's go. Shall we go for, let's go for this one, I feel. Okay, and then we have the Two of Wands in the reverse. as well. So we've got the Hanged Man, the High Priestess in reverse, and we've got the Two of Wands in reverse as well. So when we're looking at this, I think it's safe to say that we have been doing a lot of personal introspection, and that we have gone through a period where we have needed to separate ourselves from other people, from our personal collective, whether that's friends and family, whether it's the industry that we're working in order to then decide, actually, where am I going to go? What is the next step for me in life at the moment? And sometimes with the Hanged Man, we're really looking into that from a spiritual sense. But then when we have the High Priestess coming up in the reverse, it's that idea that actually we're blocking that access to our spiritual self. So although we have taken ourselves away because we want to engage more deeply with ourselves, we want to do a bit more inner work in order to then move forward in a more positive way, actually we're not achieving what we want because we're still not willing to go into the depths that we need to, and to really uncover those stagnant blocks, those things that have troubled us for a long time that maybe we've been trying to avoid. So we've been kind of doing our Hanged Man sort of show that yes, we're spiritual and we want to be seen in that way, but we're not actually putting in the level of work that we need to in order to facilitate the outcome that we want. And I think that that is underlined really by having the Two of Wands come up in the reverse, because this shows that we kind of have that idea of where we want to go and what we want to do, that we have so much potential literally in our hands, but that we're not quite sure how to get there. And the reason that we're not sure is because we're not willing to let go of certain negative elements of our past, primarily though from a spiritual personal sense. And it can obviously be very, very tricky to dig deep into ourselves to that point where we can access those dark memories, those dark parts of ourselves, in order to then fully shed them like that second skin, in order to then move forward into the person that we really want to embody in this next season. But I would really encourage you to focus on the inner spiritual work rather than necessarily the external side of it so much. So we really want to be doing that internal work primarily in order to then be able to move forward in the way that we would like. So there we have your energy reading. Now let's move on to the next sign. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on for our energy reading for Capricorn. Oh, I've got a card jumping out already. I'll have a look at that in a moment. So this is going to be for the full moon in Aquarius through to the new moon in Virgo. So it's an energy read for the next couple of weeks to see what we have coming up. Got some more cards jumping out as well. So let's see what we have got. Okay, so we've got this first card that came out, which was the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, and then we've also got the Ace of Pentacles, and we have got the Empress. Oh wow, okay. So there is a lot of feminine energy coming through with these cards, which is beautiful and wonderful and has no basis on gender or binary, but it's that beautiful feminine energy that we should all have access to and respect. Okay, so when we've got the Nine of Pentacles coming through, there's that idea that we have access to financial abundance, but perhaps we are not engaging with ourselves in the right way in order to access it. So perhaps we feel that we are, you know, kind of that boss bitch energy, and we're kind of taking on a lot. We've worked super hard to get to this point, but we're not kind of able to fully access the fruits of our labour. Maybe we've got that internal fear that if we let go and enjoy ourselves, if we spend some of that money, that maybe we will then be in a deficit, that we won't be able to make more. But these cards are really saying that you are in a really strong financial position. You know, whatever you're doing is the right thing, so keep doing it. And you may even be starting a new business or a new job or a new financial endeavour, even, you know, through financial education, perhaps learning more about investing or how to make the most of your money, which is wonderful. And when we have the Empress coming through, you've got that lovely maternal energy. And again, maternal energy, sorry, has nothing to do with actually being a biological mother or not, but it's that lovely nurturing energy that we can extend either to other people, but also to ourselves as well, because feeling connected to the earth, to everything around us, to really feel that we are embodying that sense that we are giving birth to new things, is really, really important and helps us to really feel connected in the full cycle of what we're doing. So although this is just an energy reading, I would say personally I feel that work life or financial aspects are coming through the most strongly. So we want to remember that no matter what we are doing, that we all should enjoy the fruits of our labour. We should be able to access that level of financial abundance in order to know that we can always create more, and that we are the eternal mother. And again, this has nothing to do with gender, it is all about energy, that we all are that creator inside of ourselves, that we can always figure things out, we can always bring that level of abundance into our lives, because we are fundamentally connected to what we are doing and we are divinely rooted in where we are. So I would say that whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because it is obviously working. Okay, so these are our cards for Capricorn. Let's move on now to Aquarius. Okay, well, happy full moon in Aquarius to all the Aquarians. Obviously when the full moon is in your sign, when the moon falls in your sign anyway, no matter what, we always feel that energy a little bit more intensely, but especially on a full moon. So let's see what these cards have in store for us. This is an energy reading, so it'll be for the next 2 weeks from now up until the new moon in Virgo. So let's see what the cards are wanting to tell us. Okay, so we have got the Wheel of Fortune, we have got, let's pick one from here, we have got the Six of Cups in the reverse, and then we've also got the Star. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Cups in the reverse, and also the Star. So what we're seeing is that we have been through a cycle at the moment, and it could be something good or bad, but what it means is that there is going to be the sense that some change is coming, but whether it appears good or bad, there's always the flip side to it, because with the Wheel of Fortune we know that life, the wheel, it turns all the time, it affects everyone, it's not something that we can escape. So I would say if you are going through something wonderful at the moment, brilliant, enjoy it, really savour those moments. And if you're going through something a bit more challenging, then just to know and to understand that it's not forever, that better things will come around as well. So I think this card is really a card that reminds us to be present and to enjoy what we're going through, or to learn from it. And obviously there are certain situations in life that we don't necessarily want to learn from, that it may feel a bit negative to say you should learn from this, but it's just to kind of keep that idea in mind that everything has its time and its purpose. And when we're seeing the Six of Cups in the reverse, that means that we have a disconnection somewhere from our past. So that could be a memory or a situation that we are struggling to get over or to forget, and it's kind of blocking us from then being able to move forward into really accessing our true power and into focusing on being the best version of ourselves. So what we really want to be feeling over these next couple of weeks is to be present, to know that whatever we're going through is where we're supposed to be at this time, to not hang on to the past, to let those negative memories go, or you know, to again say goodbye to something that is no longer serving us from the past, in order to really step through and to shine, and to know that we deserve all the good things, all the blessings that are coming for us coming up. Okay, so last and by no means least, we now have Pisces. I have my sun in Pisces as well. So yes, so this is going to be our energy reading for the full moon in Aquarius through to the new moon in Virgo, so roughly for the next couple of weeks. So let's see what the cards have in store for us. So let's have a look. So we'll go for this one, which is the Chariot in reverse, and then let's do another quick shuffle. And then we've got this one popping out, which is the moon, and then this one as well, which is the Ten of Wands in the reverse. So we've got Chariot in reverse, we've got the moon, and we've also got the Ten of Wands in reverse. So when we're looking at this, what is coming through most strongly is that sensation of a block. So we have an idea of where we want to move forward. It could be a physical move, which is the energy that I normally feel most strongly when we're seeing the Chariot, that maybe it's moving house, moving home, moving country, or a big physical upheaval move. So perhaps a relationship has ended and you need to physically move out of that situation, or a job is coming to an end, and again it involves an actual physical relocation. But there's that sensation that you're just feeling a bit stuck, that you can kind of see see the location and the distance, that point of where you want to move forward to, but for some reason it just is not really happening. There's that sensation of a delay. And when we see the moon, sometimes that can mean because perhaps something has come to light that you were not aware of. So it could be a secret that someone else was holding, or it could even be something within yourself that you've been holding back on, that you've not really wanted to face, and you're now going through that metaphorical kind of dark night of the moon, that you're kind of realizing, okay, well, I need to really look at the truth of the situation if I'm going to be able to move forward and progress from it. And then when we have the 10 of Wands in reverse, what is really coming through with that is that idea that actually you're not going to be able to do it alone, so you are going to need other people to come in, to step in and help you. And what's lovely about the energy of this is that you already know that, and that there are people around you that want to be there, that want to help you, and it's about allowing those people access to you in order to do that, really, because when we need to make these big transitions in life, yes, it does start with us. It often starts with facing something uncomfortable, but it is really important that we embrace that and know that we can't do it on our own. And that's a beautiful thing, you know. There's a lot of pressure, I think, nowadays that people feel that if they're going to succeed, if something positive is going to happen, that I've got to do it, I've got to push forward, I've got to do it on my own. And you absolutely do not. Part of it, yes, is always going to be down to ourselves, but having that community of people behind you, letting people in that want to help you, that want to carry that burden with you, is a wonderful thing. And you really want to allow people to step in if they're offering that help, and not be afraid to say, okay, I am feeling a bit vulnerable in this moment, and I really appreciate you, whoever it is, being there, stepping up and saying, I've got your back and I'm here for you. So that is the energy coming through for Pisces for this full moon. Okay, so there we have it, our energy read using our trusty Rider-Waite deck for the full moon in Aquarius. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I wish you all a beautiful full moon, and I will see you next for our next energy reading on the new moon in Virgo. Bye!